I want to bring you an issue that has not been covered at all by the mainstream media in the last 2 weeks in Canada. And you probably haven't seen it much on your social media at all either because of Justin Trudeau's censorship bills C-18 and C-11. These are bills that prevent Canadian news from being shown on, they've had the net effect of having no Canadian news being shown on certain platforms like Facebook, like Instagram. So this issue that I'm about to tell you about, as you know, I'm trying to get around these news bans, these censorship bills. I've written a long article for it. The link is in the video description. The way for me to keep in touch with you on these issues is for you to share these videos, but more importantly, click on the link in the video description and click subscribe and read the article. Let me talk to you about what's going on. So the article that I wrote, it's about a big issue regarding the transfer of serial killers, serial rapists in Canada from maximum security prisons to lower grade prisons. So the title of the article is called Canada Has a Re-Victimization Problem but Doesn't Want to Find Out Why. So please read this, please click subscribe. It is the best way to fight back against Justin Trudeau's censorship, and it is also free. So what's happening? So many of you might remember back in June, there was a lot of furor nationally when it sort of came to light that serial killer, serial rapist Paul Bernardo was transferred from a maximum security prison to a medium security prison. But most importantly, the victims' families had not been informed. It was very opaque. The reasons for this weren't given to them. And this kind of broke just as the House of Commons rose for the summer. So as this was happening, Conservatives wanted to find out why this had happened. And you'll remember that there was news that apparently the then Minister Marco Mendicino, this is a Liberal minister, had been informed about this, but then he said something like, I think he said that he didn't read his email or that the staff, it was just a gong show. But at the end of the day, the people that were most affected by this were the victims' families. But also think about this like corrections officers in prisons. So over the summer, Conservatives put forward motions to study exactly what happened in Canada to make sure, and in this case, to make sure that it didn't happen again. And the Liberal NDP coalition voted this down. And so when the House came back in the fall, Conservatives tried again to get this study happening, and it's been blocked over and over and over again. This article goes through everything that's happened on that, and it's really important that you know what's happening, right? Because with this censorship bill, you probably aren't even aware that this effort is happening in Parliament. So it's so important that you read this article, that you click subscribe and share it. Let me continue on what's going on. Why is it so important to understand what's happening with this situation and fix it? Well, first of all, this isn't the first time something like this has happened under this Liberal government. If those of you who've been subscribing to this channel for a long time, you'll remember that we talked about in 2018 when Terry Lynn McClintock, she's a child killer, she was transferred to a healing lodge, a minimum security healing lodge in 2018. Same sort of situation, the family re-victimized. So this has happened twice now with some of the most notorious killers in Canada's history, and the Liberal government hasn't really done anything to fix it. Why? Because it's a pattern, it's happened again. So what Conservatives have been trying to do is to bring forward representatives for the victims' families, first of all, so that they can speak and say what changes they would like to see. And also, let's say, for example, correction services officers who have to deal with this after the fact and might not get a heads up. These are the people who parliamentarians should be hearing from in order to ensure that fixes come into place to make sure that this doesn't happen again. But again, these efforts are being blocked by the Liberals and the NDP. And because we have censorship bills in Canada, you're probably not seeing much about this in your social media feeds. So again, I have written about this at length. Please, if you do nothing else today, resisting Justin Trudeau's censorship means finding out what's going on different ways, right? Read this. This is going to probably take you a maximum of 2 minutes to read. The link's in the video description, and it's also free to subscribe to. But it's really important for you to know what's going on at the Public Safety Committee. Literally, there have been serial killers, child killer, serial rapist transferred from maximum security prison to lower grade prisons, families re-victimized, and the Liberals haven't really done anything to address it. And now they're blocking Parliament from scrutinizing these efforts. You need to know what's going on about this, because like when we're fighting, conservatives, oftentimes you guys will say, okay, well, what are you doing about it? Well, first of all, we're fighting these things in committee using every tool that we have, against the Liberal NDP coalition, right? But we're also fighting it by letting you know what's happening, because now we have to fight against Justin Trudeau's censorship bills too. So how you can help us with this resistance is read, find out what's going on, subscribe so that when this stuff happens, it comes to your inbox. It's free. It allows me to loophole Justin Trudeau's censorship bills. And then I can keep you apprised about what's going on. But yeah, I sat in the Public Safety Committee yesterday. I moved a motion to try and get this done. I can post some video feedback of that so you can actually see this conversation. But it's so important for Canada to understand that, like, Justin Trudeau's failing on the economy, right? He's hugely failing on the economy. He's failing on inflation, cost of living, foreign policy. But it's management issues like this that like are re-victimizing Canadians' families. There's so many other issues that you need to be aware of too. This guy doesn't deserve to govern, and I want you to see how Conservatives are fighting back. But to do that, we also have to fight the censorship bills he put in place. So click subscribe, click share on this video, read this. It's so important. It's work Conservatives are doing on your behalf to try and make sure that we have a better government for hope and prosperity in this country. Working hard for you in Ottawa. Have a great day.